are you to doubt El Daniel?
This is Robbie Eagles.
This is the loosest in Australian wrestling, Adam Brooks.
Hi, this is Mimic.
This is 5-time the world's heavyweight champion, the Scrap Daddy himself, Scrap Iron Adam Pearce.
This is Brian Alvarez, and you are listening to Wrestle Radio Australia.
Welcome to the show, folks. My name is Josh Armour, and thanks very much for downloading Wrestle Radio Australia. This is our first episode.
Oh, yeah! G'day, this is Big Brody Marshall.
This is Brian Alvarez.
This is Dean Brady of the Millennials.
This is Jurassic Punk Sid Parker.
How many of you guys have heard the term KK?
Hello, doggers. This is Jay Hunter from OSW Review.
This is Matt Grim Basso.
This is the loosest in Australian wrestling, Adam Brooks.
This is Scrap Iron Adam Pearce, and you are locked in
to Wrestle Radio Australia.
I in the game, I'm champion, I'm Triple H. Undertaker, I'm your maker, bury the brother like Kane. Ooh, 1-3, hit the tombstone, hit the choke slam on face. Ooh, yeah, like a macho heel, tell like I'm Tommaso. If you sub a like tomatoes, I'ma keep a couple models. Ooh, and you may call me HBK. When I'm tuning up the vein, you best be getting in my way. Ooh, yeah, I'm degenerate, I love it, yes, I love it. If you wait down with that, then I got 2 words for you, suck it. Too sweet, put your fangs up. Too sweet, hold another cup. Let's be busy, 23, got me feeling way too sweet.
I was trying to make chicken salad out of chicken shit, and it was just awful.
I've turned chicken salad into chicken shit. I will continue to do so.
Here I was, blaming AEW for feeding you chicken shit, knowing you mindless millennials would be eating it up as if it were chicken salad, when it's really been your fault all along.
Make chicken salad out of chicken shit. People is as people does, that's all there is to it. Put a square peg in a round hole, just never seems to fit.
This is Bianca Belair.
Hey, this is Kevin Owens.
Hey, it's Seth freaking Rollins.
It is the man, Becky Lynch.
It's Rhea Ripley here, and you're listening to Wrestle Radio Australia.
Good evening, friends. Welcome to Australia's longest-running wrestling podcast. That's right. It's Wrestle Radio Australia time. We are having technical difficulties up the yeet tonight. We have so many. Lachlan might drop in. We're not really sure. Lachlan, if you're managing to watch this, send us a message. Let us know if you're going to stop by. We'd love to hear from you. With me, as always, is the best manager ever with the worst internet ever. It's my good mate, Todd Eastman. Toddles, how you doing, man?
I think you very much know how I'm doing. I think you very, very much know how I'm doing right now.
If you're joining us, things are a bit fucked up in Queensland. They really are. Before they get really, really good next month with the Oz Super Show, we got to say they're a bit harsh for poor Todd and Lachlan.
As long as the show's not running off my laptop, it'll be fine.
Yeah, Todd's on his iPad and Lachlan is on his MIA pad, missing in action. He's probably gone somewhere to fight. And speaking of fight, tonight we have the absolute privilege, I feel, of looking at PWA's Let Them Fight 4. It's a bit of a different feel for PWA with a standing crowd, and you can see every crowd member. And I really think that a few people use that to their advantages. And it was a lot of fun. It was a lot of fun. So let's go match by match. Some of these were watched in a different order. They came to us. They came to us with no commentary. That is a warning.
I'm sorry. Just so you know, it is not actually put up on YouTube as a full show. It's been put up as individual matches. So unfortunately, the whole show isn't up. There's like one match that's missing off it. So you had the luxury of watching it on a playlist that I made, so you guys didn't have to worry about looking for it.
I just hit play all and went ahead and watched. But it was a great show. The opener, and I thought this was a terrific opener, Ben Braxton defeating Queensland's own Xander Sullivan.
Shit.
I thought I was about to enter a rave. I was going to...
No. As usual, my shit itself again. Like I'm trying to do stuff. I'm in the background here. It's not working out for me.
I'm sure you are. So, Ben Braxton defeated Xander Sullivan in a handy little opener. What did you think of this one, Todd?
I really, really enjoyed it. I really enjoyed this match. It's see, I'm thrown off because it's not the way I watched it either. It's very much. I know you are going down the run sheet. I liked it because this was very much a house show.
Yeah,
there wasn't really anything of like canon, if you know what I mean. Like there wasn't really storylines progressed or anything like that. So it was very much like if you were here at the show, then you're seeing something that you're not going to see as part of the normal PW. Well, that's the way it felt anyway. I loved it because it like straight away you knew who Xander was as a character, and you also knew like Ben was someone sort of special when he got free. And I think they were really good because they went back and forward. Like it wasn't a matter of like Ben just getting all of his shit in, so to speak, and then like not letting like Xander get anything across. Xander got his character across. Xander got a lot of his moveset across. I really, really enjoyed this as an opener, and it's hard because some of these matches on here that we saw, you could tell the crowd were just going to like the people that they liked, whereas Xander and Ben, that was sort of like you didn't like Xander and you liked Ben. There was a real hard line of like a heel and a babyface in this, and you know me, I enjoy that stuff.
Yeah, I would agree with you. I really liked the PWA and compliments to the crew. They played this a bit more like a Wrestle Rock show. You know, they upped the interaction. They made it a bit, and I don't mean to sound, this isn't meant as a derogatory thing, but they made it a bit sillier. Every match had a dose of silly in it, and that's not a negative thing at a show like this. A crowd standing in a pub needs something to keep them engaged, and the silliness in this show really worked. And it came out through Xander. Like, Xander is a great heel and a great character. And by that I mean he's a terrific at getting on the audience's nerves, and undercutting that is a really nice top leader character that works, that actually works. He's got the kookiness and the charisma down very, very well. I was big on this as well because, of course, our pick for breakout star of the year, 2023 through 2025, Ben Braxton, was fantastic. He always is. And, you know, there was no argument that Braxton deserves a great year, and hopefully this kicks it off right. Following that, we had we have one of these new up and coming tag teams, the Velokaitais. Am I saying that right? It is, of course, Jude the Dude London and Paris De Silva taking on Prima Pi Kappa, Frankie B, and Nikki Van Blair. I thought this was such fun. I thought this was a really, really nice, even match. You always knew who was going to be winning. There was no doubt that the Velocities weren't winning this one in 8 minutes and 48 seconds. But they let, again, as with the Xander match, they let Frankie and Nikki get in a lot of their shtick. And it was a lot of fun. Look, you know, you're going to hear that word a lot from me tonight. I really enjoyed this match. I think Frankie and Nikki as a team have really come along of late. And we're beginning to see that pay some dividends for PWA, and it's great to see.
Yeah, the thing I liked about it is that they do a lot of crowd work. And I really enjoy that. Like, it's a thing that a lot of people miss a lot of the time. They're too busy trying to have their match, and they forget to work the crowd. Whereas those guys were really, really hard working that crowd. Like the Prima Kappa, PPK girls really did work that crowd. And it was almost to the point where they were that entertaining that the crowd started to cheer them. And they're like, oh, shit, I can't. Then we have to change this up a little bit because there's no to cheer us. But aside from that, like, it's like the Velocities are one of the best tag teams in the world, let alone like Australia. So having them there and having them like help guide PPK through the wrestling part of the wrestling really was a nice balance. If that makes sense.
But I think we can underestimate Nikki and Frankie's abilities because they've really they're clearly training hard as a team, and it's definitely beginning to pay off. I also liked that the Velocities kind of had fun with the match. They knew it was going to be a bit of a comedy match, and they played into it really well, which is something we don't see often from Jude and Paris. So it was really nice to see.
Yeah, and that's what I mean about that balance. There was that balance of like, okay, we're going to do the comedy bits. Here we go. We're stepping it up to wrestling now. Bang. Then moving to the comedy wrestling. It was a nice little balance and mix that I really enjoyed.
I agree with you completely. I think that balance, neither side overshot the other. So there was definitely comedy, and there was still a lot of good wrestling in there. And you're always going to get good wrestling with the Velocities, but I think that the girls absolutely held their own in that front, and really worked as a tandem better than I've seen them do so before.
Yep, no, I completely agree.
So well done, girls. Absolutely fantastic. I look forward to seeing that again. Someone else I looked forward to seeing, but we didn't get, was sadly Aaron Jake against Big Fudge. Maybe they treated it like a bit of a dark match, which would be a shame because I think this would be brilliant.
Yeah, when I saw it on the because I looked up cage match to see what were on the matches, so I could marry that up with what was on YouTube. And when I saw that was on there, I was like, because I've been enjoying Aaron Jake's work.
And how I speak volumes of the big man. He's once again a WrestleBrania veteran, but I would have loved to have seen Big Man have a match in there with Aaron Jake because I think that again the results of these don't matter because it's not strictly canon. And the show is played a bit more for laughs, as we're going to discuss in our next match. But yeah, it's a real shame that one wasn't on there, and I hope that PWA run that match again at some point so we can get our eyeballs on it. One thing I did enjoy getting my eyeballs on, this was great. I giggled a lot during this match. Billy Preston going up against Robbie Eagles for the Soul of PWA title. Todd, what did you think?
I really like Robbie as a smart ass little heel.
Yeah.
Such a good I'm better than you heel.
Yeah.
Because he's an amazing technical wrestler, so he can play that and live up to it. Which is good to see. And especially that comment from someone in the crowd where it's he did something where they backed him into the ropes and then Robbie bent away and patted him on the cheek and so on. You're not in chaos. It's just like you're in chaos again.
Just like, and he goes, just like I'm in chaos again.
It was so good. It was so good. He's back and forward with Billy in between, like I say, the moves in between the moves was really good. And Billy held his own because I've been over the time with Billy, I've sort of who are you now? I don't know who you are. Because Big Brother Billy was when it first started, very much like a Blue's Clues, very much like that, very much.
Yeah.
And now he's sort of wearing the honky tonk man Elvis suit and the glasses, and sort of moved away from that thing to something where I still don't really know who you are at the moment. I know that you're still doing comedy. What's that, mate?
He needs to turn heel.
Yeah.
He needs to turn heel badly because I'm not saying this in any kind of derogatory way, but Billy Preston needs an entourage. One or two other people. He had it with the Prefects and Cherry, and he had it with his little band of misfit toys, literally his band of misfit toys, that I think there is something missing in his act if he doesn't have somebody outside. And I think what I would like to see is he align with David Streamer and Streamer becomes his manager, and he becomes a lot more serious and a lot darker and starts running through the backslide girls and Everett Connors and sort of works his way up the card because he's got something. He's pretty good, but I just think a heel turn would just get him up on the next level. And as Good Mate Pario magazine, by the way, found him, says, it feels like
you got green screened out of that completely then.
I know, because I don't want to show them yet. It feels like he's still trying to find an identity post-prefix. I couldn't agree more, Jamie. But I think a heel turn would really, really sort of,
Yeah, it's hard, isn't it? Because, it took Jimmy Townsend a while to find his thing too. Like the Wanderer thing and all that. And it was something, but it wasn't really something. And then sort of like the Joker and the Thief really brought out that something in him. So maybe you're right. Maybe he needs someone to bring out whatever this next iteration of it, or just go harder into the Big Brother, the children's act. Because I feel like he went harder and then he went away from it. And I was like, I don't know why you went away from it. It was working and you were over.
It's obvious that he's the mind with James Adultman and things like that. If he stays in this character in the Big Brother, it'd be really nice to see him wandering around PWA trying to find a tag partner. Because really lean into the comedy, really buy into it.
Well, he's with Fudge and Pidgey in the premiership, the trios premiership this year.
Right. Well, that's interesting.
So, we'll see how that goes.
That's just a suggestion. But this match itself, banger. Just a great match.
Yeah.
Terrific. Robbie Eagles is freakishly good. He is so good. We don't get bad Robbie Eagles matches, and we haven't for a long, long time. It speaks volumes of how good he is. And the fact that he was being really funny while maintaining his character, just so good.
Yeah, because he was being smarmy funny.
Yeah.
Whereas he could be a heel still. He was being funny, but he was being an arsehole while he was being funny.
Yeah.
Which works well. And it's just as I was watching, I was legitimately laughing while I was watching because I'm like, that's such a little shit.
Yeah.
You're such a little shit. And there's nothing worse than a little shit that you cannot beat.
Robbie, if you're listening, please note that was Todd saying that. I'm Jeff. I'm in Melbourne. Todd's the guy you'll see next month in Brisbane.
Yeah, I was going to say, he'll get me at the Super Show. That's fine.
He'll get you at the Super Show, mate.
There'll be a baseball slide with my name written all over it somewhere.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, he's probably having a chat with Brooksy about how to do the low pay.
Oh, please don't. My jaw clicks from that still.
But, just a really nice match. And I think, despite what we are saying about Billy, the crowd loved him. The crowd still really enjoyed him. So,
he's just got to find that. He's just got to find that thing to go to that next level.
Yeah, yeah. We want to see it. We'd really love to see it. Up after that, we have listed Charlie Evans defeating Shazza McKenzie in 10 minutes 23. What were your thoughts on this one, Todd?
It was a nice little piece of business. This is one of those ones where, you know how I talked at the start of the show, where it was hard to tell. For this show, people didn't want to boo and cheer babyface, and so it was sort of Charlie was trying really hard to get booed, and they were still cheering her in certain areas.
Yeah,
do you know what I mean? It was really hard for her, and she was trying to be. She was really trying to get them to boo her. She was calling Shazza old, and she was, you know what I mean? She was really trying to get the crowd on Shazza's side. But they just kept cheering for Charlie.
I think that, and I look, Charlie Evans is great, but I think that if she wants to get booed, she needs to change the presentation, particularly in a pub. Like, look at her. She's cool.
Yeah.
She's like Charlie's a cool chick. Charlie Evans is your mate's little sister who, when she grows up, you go, holy fuck, I wish we could hang out sometime. That's Charlie Evans. And the character has changed. She herself has changed. But I think the presentation needs to change alongside it, especially in a pub. Maybe not in the normal stuff. And maybe there's new gear on the way, reflecting the North Shore wankers. But
yeah, I was gonna say, because like she filmed a promo this week with North Shore Wrestling where she was dressed up in like a pantsuit type of thing.
Yeah.
And it looked really good. Like it fit them.
Yeah.
So maybe it's a thing, because like you're right, it's hard to like to boo her when she's coming out and she's acting cool. Even when she's doing the scream and that thing, it's still like in a pub they're gonna scream along with her.
Yeah. Yeah.
Where like, and I don't know if that's maybe her just being comfortable in that's what she's been doing for like X amount of years. So this is my go-to. When I hit this move, I do the big wah, and maybe it's not, I don't know, but.
Well, I spoke to one of someone in PWA, and I said, look, after we reviewed the Coliseum, I said, look, I hope you didn't take what I said about Charlie to heart. She's a very difficult person to hate, because depending on your history with her, she's been around for a while, like a fair amount of time, and people really love her. And he said to me, he said, don't worry about saying anything, mate. You can say it, but I promise you by the end of this ride, you will hate Charlie. So I'm going on that. I'm believing that. I do think that there's probably more gear that's on its way, and we're going to see the attitude change. But yeah, particularly in a pub, she's a tough person to boo. But the match itself was a lot of fun. As you said, a bit of business. The result was never in doubt, because Charlie's just turned. You don't job someone out immediately after they've turned, unless you Chad Gable.
Well, Charlie's just turned, and also Shaz is not around.
Yeah,
like she's not around all the time, so you can beat her, and she's not going to lose anything off it.
And it was a good competitive match. And Shaz is definitely on the improve since her time in the US. So, it was good. It was good. After that, we had what I watched first. And I thought this was a lot of fun. MK Plus Ultra of Cosmo Cooper and Michael Spencer were defeated by Digby Robinson and Jack Bonza. Todd, what did you think?
It was... trying to think of the right way to do it, because they really tried to get, like, Digby's really trying to get over as a heel, and they really this is where to me, watching the show, I'm like, okay, this is a pub show, because it was all about Ranger, and like they were doing those like the jokes like, don't you call me that, blah blah, and I was like, the very pub showy, very house showy type stuff. The match itself was good. Like, Digby's decent. For some, I don't know how much he trains. I assume he trains a fair bit to be like doing the matches he's doing. But Digby is decent. I really do. I love the fact that they've got Cosmo in MK Plus Ultra now, because it gives them that flexibility where Kai can go and do singles and Michael Spencer can go and do singles.
Yeah,
and they've still got that base of that tag team. And Cosmo didn't look out of place at all here, which is hard because Spencer's so good. Spencer is really, really very good. So, and it wouldn't be hard for Spencer to completely outshadow somebody because of just how like naturally talented he is. But Cosmo didn't seem out of place here. And Bonza is Bonza. He's a like a professional. He's a seasoned veteran. So it doesn't matter what you put him in, he's gonna be good. So that was yeah, I did enjoy that.
Yeah, I agree with you. I think there's like MK Plus Ultra are so good and so over as a babyface team right now. It's kind of wonderful to see. I like the team of Digby and Bonza. I think that they offered a lot. I really like the ending where Digby's like arrogantly going, Bonza, bring me in. I want the pin. I liked Bonza's facial expressions during that, and I thought that was really nice. There's something very, very, and I'm saying this as a 5'7" wimp, but there is something so extremely punchable about Digby as a heel. Like you want to punch his face.
Yeah.
But again, he was getting cheered because it's not an act you boo in a pub, which is fine. That's fine. I did like,
but he was trying so hard, to get booed because he made jokes about this is one of those shithole pubs I used to play coming up.
Yeah,
he tried to get that crowd to hate him.
Yeah, and he didn't he did a reasonably good job. I liked his character work actually, and I think that this was a really nice, fun, easy to watch opener for us on the playlist. So I was quite happy with that. I thought it was a good match, and I look forward to seeing where they go with some of these characters we don't see on the main roster, as it were, that often. Someone we do see very.
I will say, and this is a sort of an aside. It really, I really noticed how much I missed Rosie and Gail.
Yeah.
In this, because it was they're great, and it's I really missed them telling the story of this team and telling the story of the show and telling the story of the match. I really missed that and I guess that just tells you how good they are as a commentary duo. When as soon as I heard it and I realized that there was no commentary, I was like, oh shit, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Because I wanted to hear him. I wanted to, yeah.
There is something, we've often said that the best commentary team in Australia is Gale and the great Diverter. But I think that ultimately this show would have been better with commentary, but the fact that it didn't detract from what was going on. There was some great action, and it was a really fun show to watch, which was the main event, and it was definitely a main event. It had all the bells and whistles, let's be honest. It was the example, and I think he still is the example. Let us know. The example, Ricky South going up against MK Plus Ultra's own Kai Drake. I fucking love this. I thought this was so good. I'm just going to go first. I thought this was so good. Kai is terrific. Ricky South, you cannot say enough good things about Ricky South. The fact that, he was one of the wrestlers of the year, let's be honest, last year, by anyone's standards, and he continues to be such a good heel. He got booed in that ring. He absolutely got hated, and he works hard for it, and he deserves all the credit in the world. Kai Drake, every time you see him, he's improving, and he's got, it's that old thing that we said about Willow Nightingale that Jamie mentioned in the last show last year. He's up here and he's just going up here and up here and up here. He's getting higher and higher and higher. He's got a huge ceiling, and it's wonderful to see. Together, it was pure chemistry. They were fantastic in ring, a little bit of shenanigans, which I didn't mind, and a really, really, really nice match. Loved it. Absolutely loved it. What are your thoughts?
Yeah. If anything tells you that this is a pub show, it was a Ricky is stinky chicken. And they went with it. Kai went with it. Backed him into the corner, goes, holy shit, you stink.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And just, it's that sort of easy for a pub who, a crowd that might not know anything about this promotion, might not know anything about these guys. It's easy to go, okay, that dude stinks. And he doesn't like saying, doesn't like people saying he stinks. So we're going to say he stinks. Do you know what I mean? It's just easy heat, easy stuff to do. And then Ricky, through the match, playing it up. There was one part where he, pulled his pants up, and I think he wiped his ass and then wiped it on his knee so he could knee drop. Kai.
Yeah.
And then they even did like the false finish where you thought it was going to be over, and Bachman comes out and interferes, and then they get rid of Bachman, and the match keeps going on. And I like the fact that they're putting over that disgusting looking submission as his finish, because it does. It looks like it killed someone when he puts that on.
Oh God, yeah.
And I also like the fact that they gave him that win, because that's like Ricky doesn't lose anything by taking a loss, and Kai gets a chance. They get a chance to see what Kai is like winning. And I know that sounds weird maybe to some people, but if you give someone a win and the crowd reaction to that win tells you a lot about where this person or wrestler is heading. Because if it's just like he gets a win and they're like, yay, the good guy won, that's cool, he got the win, awesome. But if he gets a win and the crowd loses their shit like they did when Kai did, you're like, okay, this kid has something.
Well, it's not just that. And full credit to Ricky South, because he worked hard to make sure that Kai came out of that like $1 million, like one of the best in the country. And that's a credit to both of them. Kai absolutely, he didn't need a lot of help, but he got it. He got that support and the help, and it was fantastic. It was just a beautiful match. I would watch again, almost certainly. Really enjoyed the 18 minutes and laughed a lot. As you said, the Stinky Ricky thing was a bit of fun. And, they could go face with this, but I don't think they will, because he's so good as a heel.
Oh, Regime have got legs in him. Regime have got... Regime could do the tag. Like, I would like them to do more tag stuff and maybe get a title run out of that, like a tag title. Because them as a big heel champion team, that is something for baby faces to chase.
Yeah. And one thing you don't realize seeing Ricky just on video is he's a big lad. He's really got that old school beef to him, and he's a big man, Ricky. But,
and so is Bachman. Bachman's huge as well.
And Bachman's huge. So, yeah, absolutely. They could very much take a leaf out of the book of DNT and kind of run it that way. They don't need, Stella's a unique package. Stella Nix is absolutely fantastic. They don't need anyone in the corner. But it can
I don't think they don't need a third, unless they wanted to bring a young boy along.
I think
that would make sense. If they found like a green dingo that they wanted to bring along, okay, this kid has something. Sort of like they did with Tuckman, but in a different way.
Yeah.
Like we'll put him like Cosmo with MK Plus Ultra.
Yeah.
So if they wanted to do that, they could do that, and that could be a really good story of if you've got a guy that you think might be a really good young baby face, bring him in as a young boy heel. And just have Ricky and Bachman shit on him until he turns. And that's it's an easy story to tell.
Yeah. It absolutely is. And seeing them as tag champs would be a bloody pleasure. And speaking of tags, let me tell you, this weekend is PWA's tag race. We're going to give you the full lineup. It is Celebrate Mardi Gras early with live pro wrestling in Australia, live PWA. We have North Shore Wrestling. Actually, I'll go from the bottom. How about that?
Go from the bottom, mate.
It is Friday, the 31st of January. That is tomorrow night. You can get your tickets, and Todd, I'm sure if there's any left, you'll put a link in the description, but I'm sure there won't be a lot. We have the Trio's first round premiership matches. We've got the Regime against the Velocities. So there we go. That is starting to get people excited about that. As the Future Shock says, fellas, these shows are why we encourage viewers to get out to the non-Black Label shows and watch them as well. Well, that's why we're here, Shock. That's why we're here, mate. We're spreading the good word. Nikki Van Blair is going up against Jack J. Bonza. I think that's going to be a lot of fun, that one. Who have you got, by the way, in the Regime against the Velocities?
Look, I'd like the Regime because I think we need to get more stuff behind them. So I'd like the regime to get a little bit of win, but I think the Velocities will probably get up. It'll be a great match though, because you got two like high flyers, like young light high flyers against two guys that could really base for them. So like you can see some really cool shit can happen in this match. So, and also it's on YouTube as well. So if you're not in Sydney and you can't make it to Sydney, it's on YouTube live as well to watch.
There we go. I know what I'm doing tomorrow night. I'm actually going to disagree with you there, Todd. I'd like the regime to win, and I think they will. I don't think this is a one and done. I think we're going to see a series of matches between these two teams, and I reckon it's going to be just tremendous. That could run for months. Nikki Van Blair versus Jack J. Bonza. You know, a couple of months ago, I'd have said this is a foregone conclusion, but I'm not so sure now. This could go either way.
Yeah, especially with what the show is sort of like themed. It can definitely go the way of Nikki.
I mean, she's, you know, we speak volumes about Nikki. We just did a few minutes ago. And, you know, again, she's on the improve, and this will be a great match. Lena Cross going up against Ben Braxton. Good God, this is fucking phenomenal. Who have you got?
Look, my heart's always going to say Ben Braxton because I'm a massive Ben fan. I want him to win everything.
Yeah.
But Lena Cross is so good. Either way, this match is going to be amazing, and it's going to be one of those matches where, in a long time, you don't really see it a lot. But like normally, if you see in an intergender match, there's definitely a size disparity. And even though Ben is so big, Lena is fucking big too. So you're not really going to have as much a size disparity as what you might normally have in those matches. I hope that Ben gets the win. I don't know. Really, it's a coin toss for me.
Yeah, I would agree with that. I think that Lena is so good and so talented. I can't see her winning though. This is me thinking aloud as we're talking.
Yeah.
I just can't see her getting the W because I think that they're beginning to see it with Ben. I'm hoping they're beginning to see it with Ben. Future Shock, let me know if you're beginning to see it with Ben.
the thing with PWA is it always tends to be a slow burn when it comes to pushing people. Like Jess, he really had that slow burn before they gave her the title. Like they dragged that out for a long time.
Even Ricky, they did the same with Ricky.
Yeah, so that's what I'm saying. It could go either way.
Yeah, it's going to be fantastic. The Backslide Girls fight for tag team gold.
Yep, that can be interesting. Old mate's got to have something to do with that and cause them to lose.
Stream, yeah.
It's got to have. Yeah.
You could imagine so. That'll be a bit of entertainment before one hell of a main event. North Shore Wrestling. So Charlie Evans, Sam Osborne, and Will Keatis will go up against the dropouts of the Tuckman and Scott Green and Jimmy Townsend. Again, this will be really interesting.
Yeah, Jimmy is, of course, subbing in for Jessica Troy, who's got an injured ankle, I think.
Yeah.
I think so. I'm not sure how long she's out for, but it's a shame, especially this time of year, because you could imagine that she might have been able to squeeze somewhere into Grand Slam if they were going to do it like a gauntlet or something, that they could have squeezed someone like her on there. So that was a real shame.
Matty Huswaite said, you know what, a main event. I agree with you, Matt. Couldn't agree with you more. It's going to be absolutely fantastic anyway. Despite
there was also a promo that we're going to play during the ad break of setting up this main event where if the North Shore Wrestling win, then Charlie gets to decide the stipulation for her PWA Championship match against Jessica coming up. So that added a little bit of stakes to it.
I think they can make use of this ankle injury, and I'm you don't like to see it, but I think there's a story being told there if the dropouts lose, and
also it's the start of the trios premiership. So and I actually really dig that about PWA. Is like the first year they did a singles premiership, the second year they did a tag premiership. Like this year, they do a trios. I really enjoy that. I can't see him doing like an 8-man championship next year. I can't imagine that. I can imagine like rotating back to singles then. But I like the fact that they're doing that. Do you know what I mean? I like the fact that they're changing it up every year. So it's not like, because they've got Coliseum. So they've got a singles tournament, so to speak. Yeah. So I like the fact that
I saw on their socials today that King of the Metro is late June, 26th.
Yeah, Andy.
That weekend. Oh, Andy, yeah, right. It's on the 27th of June. I knew it was either the 26th or the 27th. So there you go. Speaking of shows, if you are going to be in Brisbane for the AEW show, do not miss Oz Pro Wrestling. No, that's the wrong one, isn't it? I've said, don't miss the Oz Super Show on the 14th of Feb. I'm trying to do the right thing. That is 2 weeks. That is 2 weeks and 1 day away. I ain't no Lachlan, that's for sure. There are some great shows coming up if you are in Melbourne Sunday night.
Sorry, before you do that, because we were talking about the Super Show, the little thing that I couldn't tell you last week has now been announced. Dean Brady has been added to the State of Origin match.
I saw that.
It's a little something I could tell you last week because I knew I'd get in trouble. But now it's been announced. I can talk about it.
I saw that this afternoon, and I started wondering which of you two would mind having a slightly rotund little man on his couch for a weekend. Also, as Matt Hustwaite is quick to tell me, thank you, Matt. Do not miss Oz Pro Wrestling in March. If you're in Melbourne, Sunday, March 2 at the Ringwood Community Centre for Reaching the Brass Ring. We reviewed, if you missed it, we reviewed their debut show last week, and the three of us were unanimously positive, particularly about Owen Stedman. Really, really good act. Also coming up very soon, just a week after that, Renegades of Wrestling present We Are Renegades 2025 on Sunday, the 9th of March, at the Northcote Theatre, doors at 6, bell time at 7, Sunday night wrestling. They normally do a matinee. They're going a little bit later this time around. It is a family-friendly event. The card is looking fantastic. Of course, the Renegades Rumble and the Renegades of Wrestling World Championship is being defended in a triple threat match. Your champion, Levi Nixon, is defending against Emin Asman and Mitch Waterman. It's going to be great. It's just going to be a terrific show.
Yeah, it's going to be, and who knows, something might happen at the Super Show too that could affect things. You don't know because it's a lot of Renegades people on that, especially in that main event. Emin's on one team, Levi's on the other.
It is co-presented by Renegades as well. PWL and Renegades are getting together for that one. It's going to be a great show. You don't want to miss that. Then the week later, we are talking about MCW Anniversary on March 15th at the Thornbury Theatre. Tickets are on sale now, mcwtix.com. It's going to be terrific. Anniversary is always something very, very special. Sadly, I will not be there this year, but I will hope to make my return a bit later in the year at MCW. Just a reminder, if you are in Adelaide and hoping to go to WSW, the venue has been moved due to a scheduling clash with the AFL. The show will now be held at the Adelaide Showgrounds in the Ridley Entertainment and Convention Centre. All tickets are still valid and seating remains the same. There's been extra seating added, so if you haven't already, now is your time to get tickets. Matt has just said, it feels like there's more buzz for the Super Show than Grand Slam, and rightly so, if we're being honest. Jamie has been nice enough to tell me that he has a spare bed in his Brisbane hotel. Jeff, Jamie, I'm the big spoon. All right, let's move on.
To be fair, Matt, like more matches have been announced for the Super Show than have been announced for Grand Slam. So, basically, at this point,
that's very true. That's sadly very true. Well, here we go. Tickets for the Pro Wrestling League with Renegades of Wrestling, Australian Wrestling Super Show. For the night before AEW Grand Slam are on sale now through Oztix. And hey, guess what? If you like parking your tush on a chair, you are shit out of luck. That's right. Standing room only for that one. As sure as Lachlan's going to mess up and call the end of year awards the Chickies again in 2025, I'm telling you to run out and get your tickets now because you do not want to miss out on the Australian Wrestling Super Show. It's going to be something special. Now, just one more quick note about Renegades. I cannot say what because honestly, I do not know. But I caught up with someone behind Renegades last night and they said they have one hell of a surprise planned next week. If you don't already follow Renegades and Pro Wrestling League on social, heck, get out there and follow them. Also, follow PWA. Follow all of your favorite wrestling companies on social because they do a great job. Now, this weekend in Oz Wrestling, special thanks to Michael Lee at Australian Wrestling Community Facebook page. Thank you so much, Michael. We have, oh boy, we've got a lot going on. In New South Wales Pro Wrestling League tag race tomorrow night. We already spoke about that. On Saturday night, Integrity Sports Entertainment, or ICE, have hope.
Eyes.
Newcastle Pro Wrestling, I am so sorry, present Fight Night on Saturday. And then on Sunday, International Wrestling Australia Drifters Warfare Sunday, Feb 2. Do not miss that. If you are up in Queensland, you can get to United Pro Wrestling Entertainment, United Pro Wrestling Entertainment Recoil on Saturday, February 1st. I hope there's no internet involved because going by current measures,
that's just me. That's just this laptop.
Just you
really
and Lachlan. If you are down here in Victoria tomorrow night, our friends at Mayhem Pro Wrestling have their Friday night showcase. Go along and see it. Mayhem are doing great work. And then, of course, on Saturday, February 1st, down there in Castlemaine, and I'll be in Castlemaine on Sunday, actually. Lucha Fantastica are doing Love Battle. Lucha Fantastica is always a good time, and you'll see some familiar faces hidden under masks. Don't miss that one. What else you shouldn't miss is getting some merch. You can wrap yourself in a top that resembles us and resembles some of our friends. Of course, the 10th anniversary top is still doing the rounds. We've got people like Robbie Eagles, Matt Grimm Basso, Adam Brooks, Davis Storm, Todd, Lachlan, and myself all on a T-shirt. That's a thrill. And so is what's going down later on this year. Woo! We also have had to tell you to give us a 5-star rating. That's right. Go along to iTunes, go along to Spotify, go along wherever you go to rate podcasts. Give us 5 stars. It gets us in more ears. It gets us more people watching us. Speaking of watching us, you can follow us on Twitch. You can follow us on Facebook. You can follow us on Instagram. And of course, you can follow us on YouTube. We love doing this each and every Thursday night. And one other thing we love is taking a short break. And we'll be talking international news. And there's a lot going on in just a few minutes.
That was a really good throw. But what I want to say is before you do that, that PWA show that we talked about tonight, that is up on their YouTube channel. It is not up as a full show. It's not up as a playlist either. The individual matches are up there on there, as well as some others from Mounting Mania. There's like the steel cage match between Fudge and Ricky Southers on there, which is something that I'm probably going to check out later on tonight because I love that idea because that's the feud that's been going on for a while. That had been going on for a while. So to see those two guys in a cage, I can't believe I missed that I put up. So I'm going to check that out. They are putting a lot of those ones that aren't really the Black Label canon shows as individual matches up on their YouTube channel. So do go and do that. While you're there, subscribe to their channel so you're not going to miss anything that gets put up. Subscribe to our channel because we're really close to hitting that nice little mark where we're on our way to being able to try and make some money out of this and actually pay for what we're doing here, which would be really nice. But yes, aside from all of that, we will be back. Oh, do you want to say something, Jeff? Sorry.
Yeah, just quickly, if you are not doing anything tomorrow night, do not forget that PWA show tag race is going to be live for free on YouTube.
Yes, 100%, yes. And we'll be back right after this.
Time's up.
Tag race is here, Jan 31st, and once again, North Shore Wrestling versus the Dropouts, but this time you found a friend. You found one. Welcome aboard, Jimmy Townsend.
You see, these last couple of weeks have been a lot of fun and games, right? It's been so funny for the Dropouts and all their content, Jimmy Townsend.
Yeah.
But the time for fun and games is over, guys. This is serious stuff. This is the main event of Black Label, what you've been hoping for, what you've been praying for, right? But you see, every time you guys are under the bright lights against North Shore Wrestling, you guys choke!
Jessica Troy, if you want that title match in April, fine. If you think you're going to get lucky twice, you are wrong. But you know what? Since you're so confident, what about we put some stakes on this? If we win the main event of Tag Race, I get to choose the stipulation for our PWA Heavyweight Championship match. And then we will officially make this shit Chev's country.
The stars of Oz Pro Wrestling are coming to the Central Ringwood Community Centre on Saturday, the 2nd of November. Tickets start from only $25. Doors open at 2:30 p.m. Go to ozprowrestling.com.au for more information.
I ain't tryna. I'm a bitch and a boss, I'ma shine like glass, I'm a bitch. I'm a boss. I'm a bitch and a boss, I'ma shine like glass, I'm a bitch. I'm a boss. I'm a bitch and a boss, I'ma shine like glass, I'm a bitch. I'm a boss. I'm a bitch and a boss, I'ma shine like glass, I'm a bitch. I'm a boss. I'm a bitch and a boss, I'ma shine like glass.
Kick off your AEW Grand Slam weekend the right way with an unforgettable night of wrestling action at the iconic Eden's Hill Hotel in Brisbane on Friday, February the 14th, as Pro Wrestling League and Renegades of Wrestling present the Australian Wrestling Super Show. With an open door policy, expect the unexpected. You never know who might appear to shake things up. Whether you're a long-time fan or new to the Australian wrestling scene, this is the perfect way to start your weekend off with a bang. Get your tickets now from oztix.com.au and don't miss this incredible night of Australian wrestling action.
Oh, that's right. See, I made it back. I didn't lock it. How good is that? I was like, 10, 9. Make sure you shake well, Jeffy. Don't pee your pants again.
It's funny because what you guys don't know is that there's little screens on the bottom here, so I can see his camera. And he stayed for most of it and then just disappeared just before the second last thing. I'm like, why leave now? What are you doing? I had stuff in my mind going, okay, I'll vamp till he comes back. It'll be fine.
No. I ain't no Lachlan here, mate. I ain't no Lachlan. It looks like Lachlan is not with us tonight, unfortunately. So for all those people that are huge fans of the Lock Dog, he'll be back next week. Fingers crossed.
Mr. and Mrs. Albert, we apologise.
Yes, both of them. Let's do this in 3, 2, 1. Welcome back to Making Chicken Salad. I'm your temporary host, Jeff Setti. Unfortunately, Lachlan Albert isn't with us, but they left the old man in charge back here tonight, haven't they? And we're giggly as fuck, but who cares? Look, there's a lot going on in international wrestling, including something that, well, I have an idea in mind, and I want to know what you think. If you haven't seen the video, it's quite beautiful. It's the middle of some kind of press conference, and Taker and Michaels clearly surprised Triple H. I don't think there was any acting there. He was very angry at Nick Khan, to be honest. Triple H has been, as the first inductee, and I would say the headliner of the WWF Hall of Fame in 2025. I am quite conflicted about the Hall of Fame. There is no doubt Triple H is a worthy inductee. Absolutely no doubt.
Yeah. I mean, there have been some very iffy choices in the past, but like you can't deny that Triple H very much deserves it. Yeah, apparently it was like a town hall meeting at WWE headquarters, so it was like all the staff and all the
right.
So pretty much like I think like a State of the Union type thing with those guys. Yeah. They surprised. Apparently.
But a beautiful, beautiful inductee. Like, perfect. Now, my question to you is probably going to be Shawn Michaels. Let's be honest. Michaels is probably going to be the one to induct him. But if Michaels can't, who do you want to see induct him?
If Michaels can't.
Yeah, for whatever reason.
If he couldn't, you would have to think it would be like Taker, Foley, or Steph.
There's one other name, and he will be hilarious and brilliant at the job. There's one other name in my mind.
William Regal? Yeah.
Regal. I mean, it's probably going to be 99%. It's going to be Michaels, because of course it will. Of course it will. Nash. Nash is a good call. Matt Huswaite. Just Nash is a good call. There's a lot who Brett. No, there's a lot who could induct him, and I think it'll be an interesting thing. But yeah, it's likely to be Michaels, and well done. I watched this next match, and it looked fucking painful, and even Cole called out the unfortunate injury immediately on play-by-play. Cole went, "Oh no, that hurt." JD McDonough, what a legend, suffered broken ribs and a punctured lung during the Raw Tag Team title match and finished the match. He's no Sin Cara. He's absolutely tough as balls. Good on you, JD McDonough. Really, well done.
Yeah, I know that in the past we've talked about things like when people get knocked unconscious, the referee should just call that match off and blah, blah, blah. And I still feel the exact same way. From what I understand is JD called the refs off. So the refs were willing to stop this match, and JD's like, "No, I'm fine. I can keep going." And it's not one of those things where like he got knocked unconscious and came back or any of that thing. So until he went and got the actual scans and that, they didn't know how severe the injury was. So, like, I can't believe. Oof.
I think he's brave and crazy, but it wasn't like you said when I'm still quite conflicted on Cody and Seth Hell in a Cell because of the injury. But like you said at that point, it's not going to get any worse. He may as well finish the match. The difference is Cody fucked up his pec a few days before, so he could have pulled the match. By all right, could have or not is up to. This is done during the course of the match. It's not going to get worse.
And you've also got to think too, like adrenaline is pretty much probably what got him through that. Whereas very much different. Like if you get knocked loopy, no amount of adrenaline is going to unloopy you.
No.
Do you know what I mean? And that just doesn't happen. Whereas if you've got adrenaline going, because I know one of my friends, we were playing district basketball, went for a rebound, took a bad fall, landed on his arm. He's well, fuck, that hurt. Kept going. Turned out that he'd actually broken his arm in 2 places.
Whoa.
Didn't know he'd done it because adrenaline stuff going. He's I've taken a bad fall. Ow. Like that. Yeah, and you're right, Parius. There's a punctured lung could get much worse with bumps and exertion, but it's also not something that he would know has happened straight away.
Yeah.
He wouldn't have known he'd happen straight away. And I think he even missed didn't he miss a moonsault or something after that?
He landed like, the
no,
sharp.
I mean after that, during the rest of that match, he missed like a moonsault or something as well. So it's insane as well. And I do not recommend at home if you've hurt yourself to keep going. And Should the refs have called it off? Maybe, but refs don't have MRIs in their pocket where they can tell instantly what's happened to the guy. If you as a referee have gone, are you okay? Are you okay? And he has said yes, and he is cogent, and he is like his wits are about him. You've got to keep going that.
I think that this is an interesting point because it's the wrestler's right to continue. Some years ago, Finn Balor, of course, famously won the title and dislocated his shoulder in the same match.
Yeah.
Finn kept going. There is a tradition, whether right or wrong, no matter what you think of this tradition, there's a tradition to finish the match. And it seems like the Irish are particularly fucking, gung-ho on this. Speaking of that, before I forget, and I put this in our private chat during the week, there is a lovely Hot Ones battle between Drew McIntyre and Sheamus, and it's just hilarious to see these two guys who've been friends for years. Just Drew McIntyre can't handle heat, and Sheamus, despite his appearance of being, 3 weeks in the sun to turn blue, he just wolfs it down. It's very, very funny. I strongly recommend you check it out. It really is fun.
Andy said, I'm surprised that Michael Hall doesn't have the seniority collar match. He's got nothing to do with the match, mate. Like, as far as he's calling the action. He can't just stand up and go, stop the match. That's not his area. Like, the referees are there. The referees are constantly talking to the back. So, like, if Triple H and that have said, look, he looks fucked, call the match off, then they call the match off. But if the referee has said to him, are you okay? And you okay? He's like, yeah, I just took a bad bump. I'm fine. You can tell because they had doctors attending him. So they had them check him out straight away. You can't tell straight away when someone's done the stuff that he'd done, I don't think. Or that it's severe enough that you have to call a match off.
The other thing is that thing of Cole going, oh no, JD McDonough's injured himself. Hang on a sec. We're going to just check on him and we're going to see how it slows the match down for the viewing audience. They're now on Netflix. That viewing audience is vital.
Well, it's not that, mate. It's not even his call. Like, he's just calling the match. And for all he knows, McDonough's selling. For all he knows that he's selling. And how much of a dickhead would you feel if you go, he's really injured, call this match off, and they get to the back and goes, what are you doing? I was selling. I was fine. The whole time I was fine.
Yeah. It's you've got to give wrestlers a certain amount of leeway on this because,
you've got to trust them when you ask them if they're okay, and even if they lie to you, and 9 times out of 10, a wrestler is going to lie whether he's good to go or not because that's just what they do. They're insane.
And also, these guys have such finely tuned bodies. They know their own bodies. They are exceptionally fit. They know their own bodies and they know their body's limitations. So sometimes you need to accept that maybe they're not aware of what they've done to their bodies, but they are familiar enough with them to know how far they can stretch things. And clearly, for better or worse, and Devlin did a great job, but clearly his judgment may have been a bit erroneous, but amazing, just amazing. He's going to be in for a big push when he gets back. When he gets fixed up, he's going to be in for a huge push because Trips loves that. I mean, look, the guy fucked up 2 quads and he was still going. Speaking of quads, if you take quad, it's 40, add a 0, it's 40. You put that down 10, 30. That's the number of the Royal Rumble. It's on this Sunday.
Oh my gosh.
Lachlan didn't teach me that one. Let me tell
you. Obviously. Fucking obviously.
Let me tell you, there is one hell of a card for this show. I am so pumped for this. Let's go. We start with the WWE Tag Team Champions. They are the SmackDown Champions on Thursday night. DIY of Johnny Gargano and Tommaso Ciampa defend against the Motor City Machine Guns, Alex Shelley and Chris Sabin, in a fucking 2 out of 3 falls match. That could main event anything, anywhere.
Yeah, like when they announced it just wasn't a normal match, it was a 2 out of 3 falls match. I'm like, nice. That reminds me, like, I don't know if you know, you probably do know, but that first ever Royal Rumble, the Royal Rumble wasn't the main event of that show. it was a 2 out of 3 falls tag team match after it with the Islanders, and I cannot remember who the other team was.
From memory, it was for the belt, so I think it was the Islanders and the Demos.
Okay.
And it was great.
But yeah, but that's how I think that's how they used to do those big shows. They'd have a 2 out of 3 falls match, like main
and
event.
they would have the main event before the intermission.
Yeah, just so how could you get out early?
And to sell tickets.
Oh, for the next show, yeah, of course, especially in New York. Yeah,
yeah.
So but yeah, this match has all the potential to be something that we're talking about as one of the best matches of the year, just because of the 4 guys in it and the tag teams that are in it. And yeah, Absolutely. It's definitely going to be. It'll be I think, is it the first pay-per-view for Motor City Machine Guns?
I think so. I think they've done Saturday night's main events, but they haven't done a. Oh no! Weren't they a mystery team in Survivor Series? No,
I don't. No, I don't think so.
No, they debuted on SmackDown.
Yeah,
yeah.
So this is their first. This is their first like premier live event. So I mean, yeah, I can't wait to see this match. It'd be awesome.
I think who's going to win it? Who do you think?
I can imagine Motor City Machine Guns winning it, but it wouldn't surprise me if they gave it to Gargano Ciampa just to keep going with their thing.
I think they're going to keep it on DIY myself.
Yeah, but the beauty of it being a 2 out of 3 falls match is that they can win a fall.
Yeah, I think it's going to be DIY, but I don't think this story's over. Speaking of stories that aren't over, wow. Shit, this is riveting. The undisputed WWE champion Cody Rhodes defends his title against Kevin Owens in a ladder match. Now, if you know Kevin Owens, he had a bunch of ladder matches in Ring of Honor, and they are all fucking great. Like, you could pick a random Ring of Honor house show, because they kind of didn't really do house shows. You pick a random house show from Ring of Honor back in the day, and he's got a ladder match against, say, Generico or Cabana or...
Was it like Ladder Wars?
He did Ladder Wars.
Ladder Wars show.
He did a lot. I think this is going to be fucking fantastic.
Yeah, I got a feeling that maybe Kevin walks away with this title.
I think he does.
Just because it's a ladder match, so Cody doesn't have to get pinned.
Yeah. Yeah. And I think he wins because of I almost said El Generico, because of Sammy. I think he wins because of a Sammy backfire.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he wins, but I think he wins to set up a Sammy and Kevin title match. Maybe Mania.
Oh, or maybe
God. Yeah. Or maybe
you think they're actually doing it? You think they're going to pull the trigger on Sam?
I don't know. That's the thing. I don't know. I could see it because let's face it, the last 2 or 3 weeks of Raw have been really based around Sammy and the Rumble.
Well, he's
like they've had undercurrents of like CM Punk and blah 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 blah. But the rolling story through it has been Sammy accidentally kicking Seth, accidentally kicking Cody, like having fucking Drew like sort of like acknowledge Cody, like, acknowledge Sammy. Do you know what I mean? But then having Kevin this week do it as well. So like, thanks, bud, and get out the ring and like there's a whole, and especially like Cody saying you got to do things for yourself. Seth saying you've got to do things for yourself now. They're setting it up where it could happen. But there are so many people in this Rumble match that you can legitimately say, yeah, he's going to win. Like Roman, you Cena, you got Punk. Rollins has a shot. Like Uso, are they going to put Uso as one of the most over people in the company right now over?
Drew has a shot. Let's not underestimate Drew.
Yeah.
He's doing the work of his life.
Yeah, you got to think Penta's in there to set up something with Bron Breakker going forward. You've got to think like stuff like that, and it's one of those things where, and I don't know if there's a sports bet on it, but you would have to think that the field is wide open for who could win this one.
Oh goodness, yes. But we'll talk about that in a second. because I think that Cody Kevin is probably. I think it's going to be Kev. I really do. The Women's Royal Rumble match. This has some great names as well. We have Bayley, Nia Jax, Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Liv Morgan, Io Sky, Ivy Nile, Lyra Valkyria so far. I just want to mention one thing. If you see a leaked Royal Rumble entry and fucking elimination thing, it's bullshit. Ignore it completely because they've all got Becky Lynch on there. And I don't think Becky's coming back for a while. I think she's enjoying a well-deserved break. But who have you got? Those names again: Bayley, Nia Jax, Charlotte Flair, Bianca Belair, Naomi, Liv Morgan, Io Sky, Ivy Nile, Lyra Valkyria.
Well, like everything we've sort of seen is like talking about maybe Charlotte and Tiffy at Mania.
Wow.
So I can see that. I'm quickly just had a look at Sportsbet to see if they had thing. Basically, they've got the favorites to do the double of like the men's and women's rumble for Sportsbet anyway. Is CM Punk and Charlotte Flair as a double are paying $3. So, but they've got like Cody Rhodes is the overwhelming favorite for his match against Kevin. So if you've really got a feeling in your waters that Kev might win this, it's paying $6 on Sportsbet.
I put $10 on it. I walk out a happy boy.
There you go. And I'll just quickly DIY are the favorites in the tag match.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise. That doesn't surprise. So you think it's going to be Charlotte?
Like I have a feeling it can be Charlotte because I can't really see anyone massively standing out. Like I could see if they wanted to do Bianca and Rhea, then that's the way they could go with that. But I just think the comeback, like it fits, like Tiffy and her fit. And they're not going to go with Nia Jax because they've just done Nia and Rhea. And they're not really going to have like Nia go after Tiffy again. They're not going to do that. Bayley seems to be, I've got a feeling something with her and Io are going to happen during this match.
That was great, wasn't it?
I think something there. And Bayley was also going on a bit about like wanting to win the NXT championship. So maybe that's somewhere where they go off.
And hey,
I can't see Liv. I can't see Ivy Nile. I can't see Lyra Valkyria because she's just won the Intercontinental title, so they're not going to do that to her. I would have to think Bianca or Charlotte would be the two that I'm thinking of. But then I think something's going to happen with Bianca, and Jade Cargill's going to come back and ruin that.
Yeah. Jade Cargill's almost certainly coming back as a heel at this point. Matt has just mentioned he'd love for Jordan Grace to get the rocket strapped to her and main roster debut with a Rumble win. Unlikely, but I'd love it. No, but I think you'll see her.
No, well, if she's working people, then you will. But if she's not working people, you won't because she posted up a flight thing that she's got for that day going to Texas for her mum's birthday. So maybe she's working the crowd.
We did mention that the Trips is a little bit softer on time off than his predecessor.
Yeah. What I just want to throw it out there. Do you think there will be, or how many do you think TNA competitors do you think might be in this Rumble?
Well, you can forget their champion because she can fuck off. I don't think that WWE want her.
Oh, I was going to say, what's wrong with bloody saying your name and he'll appear? I believe in Joe Hendry.
No. I meant Tessa Blanchard. I don't think she's their champion, so I apologize. But she did. I think it's Masha Slamovich, who I think will be really good.
Yeah,
I think Masha will make an appearance. I think we may even see Steph. We may see Steph.
Is she back?
Yeah, she's back. She's the internet. She's the internet champion.
Yeah, that doesn't mean anything. She had Mance like defending it for her.
Yeah.
So I mean,
we may get it. Oh, is she back in ring? I'm not sure.
Yeah, that's what I mean. So I don't think we will see it. But I mean, there's so many there, but like
We might see Jody.
I don't know.
Jody can go and has an appeal, as you know. She's got that kind of indie goth chick appeal.
I know has Josh Alexander wrapped up his dates?
I believe so. STL's not cleared according to PWA magazine.
That's what I thought. That's what I thought.
Thanks, mate. That's a
so
shame.
who do you reckon you see old mate Dolph come out as Nick Nemeth?
Yeah. I think we're going to get a bit of he doesn't even work here.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You could have that. I mean, I don't know how long a contract. Like, do you think Cardona shows up?
Where are we? We're in Texas. No, I think they saved Cardona for New York.
Yeah. I mean, it's a perfect, like, not as because he's signed with, who hasn't signed with, but he's doing something with TNA.
Yeah.
So it's going to be good. It's going to be interesting. I'm keen to see what they do with this TNA thing.
But I definitely think I called it a while ago. There is no way someone's not going to say his name and he appears.
Yeah, you have to think that Joe Henry's going to be in this.
Well,
Mustafa Ali, that would be cool having Mustafa there.
There's going to be there's a big crowd. Is it the Alamo Dome? Is that the place? I think it is.
I could not tell you off the top of my head where it is.
But it's going to have a huge capacity because their shows do have huge capacities at the moment. And that double clap is going to be fucking loud. It really will. Let's have a quick look. As for the winner for the Women's Royal Rumble, I'm leaning towards Bianca. I think it's going to be Bianca to build Bianca Rhea. Hendry for a face-off with Cena. Says PWA magazine, maybe. Speaking of Cena, he's one of the entrants to the Men's Royal Rumble. The others, so far, big breath. Roman Reigns, CM Punk, Seth Rollins, Jey Uso, Drew McIntyre, Sami Zayn, Rey Mysterio, Shinsuke Nakamura, Logan Paul, Chad Gable, Penta, and Bron Breakker. You can add a few more names to that. There will be some absolute banging people in that Royal Rumble. Keanu Reviews is crying over Charlotte winning. I'm fine with Charlotte winning as long as she does the right thing and doesn't win everything inside every time. Who have you got? That is one hell of a list.
I think Sammy, because everyone else I see, they've kind of got a story. I mean, it could be Cena if you want to go Cena and old mate Gunther. Like it could be, but like everyone else, I can kind of see something else for them. Like I can see Punk and Seth not having their shit settled, or I can see Punk and Reigns maybe with like Reigns is going to main event a WrestleMania match. I want to main event a WrestleMania match. Paul, you owe me a favor.
Yeah. I think it's something that's a dream match and we'll put butts in seats, especially considering the rumor is that Dwayne is unavailable. So I think they're going to pivot to Phil.
Yeah. I really wanted my dream scenario would have been The Rock and Kevin Owens in a money match.
Yeah, we mentioned that.
I would have loved that just for the promos going into it alone.
I agree with you. It's probably Sammy or Cena. I can see the sense in what you're saying that they are building Sammy. They are building Sammy beautifully. The losing streak is touching. It's actually quite sad. You can see he's so good. Sami Zayn is so good at playing confidence slipping. So I think that it's time to, this build is going to be beautiful. Andy has said the favor is Brock Lesnar. They called it out with the one behind the one. No.
I don't think so.
Will never, ever, ever be returning to WWE.
I'm not going to go that far, but I don't think he's the favor. Because what kind of a favor is that? My favor is I want to fight Brock Lesnar. That doesn't seem like there's no favor I would want anyone to do for me.
And not only that, but that's already happened, and I don't think that Punk wants new matchups. Punk wants fresh. And we've seen that already with Drew. We've seen it with Seth. And I think Roman is an incredibly fresh matchup. I think they kind of crossed paths in like a house show or on a Raw or something, just in that brief period.
Sorry, Andy says Lesnar is his, but can you imagine in any realm of possibility, Brock says, "Yeah, I'll come back and be someone's bodyguard."
Can you imagine?
No way Brock would do that.
Can you imagine that Trips is going, "Yeah, I'll pay Brock Lesnar's exorbitant fee for him to stand in a corner,
stand ringside,
arms folded, looking grumpy." That's ridiculous. That's one of the.
It's a lovely world you're living in, but I don't know how realistic it is. I'm more worried about Goldberg coming back, to be honest with you.
Yeah, no Goldberg. No Goldberg. I'll tell you who's probably going to come back is Orton.
Yeah. Well, what was his injury again?
His injury. It was a work. It was a work.
Was it completely work? I thought it was just like...
He was package pile driven by Owens. It's a work.
Yeah, he was, but it doesn't mean that he didn't have another injury, and that's why they took him off.
True. He could have had a bad something or another, but from what I've heard, he just wanted some time off. I think his oldest kid was like graduating or something.
So does that mean that he shows up and costs Kevin the ladder match?
Yeah, maybe. And then enters the Rumble.
I forgot about Owens. I forgot about Orton completely. That blows my whole theory about Owens possibly winning this out of the
How about this? No. How about this? Orton costs Cody. And then we've got Orton Cody at Mania. Sammy Owens
away from the title picture. Yeah, that's not a bad idea. It's not a bad idea. That's what I mean. There's like this year, there's so many different ways they can go with it, which is really good to see, because a lot of the times it's like, oh, this is the only way we see it. It's only going to be Cody and Roman. That's it. Like, it's only going to be that, unless The Rock comes in and ruins everything. Whereas now we're saying it could be this, it could be that, it could be that, but none of us saying, well, it could be this, but that'll ruin it. So I don't want that. You know what I mean? That's just not on the cards this year, which is great.
I'm looking forward to this. Matt Huswaite, I tell you what, though, Roman and Punk left standing with Heyman having kittens at ringside. The countdown for 30 hits, then Lesnar enters at 30. Nuclear Pop City right there. No, I think Lesnar has
it's not a bad shout, though. That would be.
It's not a bad shout.
Having the three of them in the ring staring off.
Yeah.
But no one wants to see Lesnar and Reigns again. And that's what it'll lead to.
No one, like, Lesnar's got a lot of heat on him for reasons.
If
you look at certain paperwork, you'll know what I'm referring to. So
yeah.
But I do agree with you, Matt, that this year is 92 levels of loaded star power for the Rumble, 88 levels as well. If you remember 88, no, 91. The one Flair one. You got to be fair to Flair.
The thing is, though, too, with this, there's so many more open possibilities now with TNA.
Yeah.
Not for him to win it, not for a TNA person to win it, but just so many more open possibilities for like these people to be in the match.
Yeah. As I said, I'm really, really excited about this. And Sunday can't come around quick enough. I think it's going to be a great show, and they built to it beautifully. We'll talk more about this, I'm sure, as the week
goes on. We do love us a Sunday pay-per-view.
Well, next week we'll be talking about this on Thursday night, I am sure. Something you can catch on Thursdays is Dynamite and AEW's lead show. We have Timeless Tony Storm is back.
Yeah. They went early on me. I said it was going to be a Grand Slam, but they went early on me. What's wrong, Jeff?
I actually think It's a little bit early from my perspective. I think they could have delayed it a little bit, and it would have been fine.
Yeah, well, I mean, I told you what I thought it was going to be. Like, I honestly thought he was going to win the title. She was going to win the title, and then Luther was going to come out and present it to her like it was an Academy Award, and then she was going to break the character. Like, I understand. Like, don't get me wrong, it was good the way they did it on Collision. It was good. Like that, as she was walking off, just got what makes you think, how dances, and just completely went back into timeless voice. I enjoyed that. I thought it was good. I thought they went early.
Yeah, it's a bit premature. But we have a card. We have 2 weeks, and then AEW are here in our fine shores. The card for Grand Slam so far: Tony Storm versus Mariah. Let me try that again. Apologies to both. Tony Storm versus Mariah May for the AEW Women's Championship. I mean, I think Tony's going to take that out. Like, let's not kid ourselves. It's in Australia. I don't think Tony would get out of. I don't think Tony Khan would get out of the country if Tony doesn't win. Omega Ospreay versus Takeshita and Fletcher. That's going to be great. That's just going to be very, very good. All four
and
of those.
That's the only things that have been like announced so far. So
Yeah.
How long have we got left? What have we got? 2 weeks?
2 weeks.
Oof. And I say that in the nicest possible way, but
yeah,
I understand his booking philosophy and he likes to do everything on the show right before the thing, but I don't feel like you should do that on overseas shows, even though it's just like now basically a Collision that'll be on at 10:30 at night in America on delay, and I understand all of that, but still. You're trying to sell as many tickets as you can, so you would try and get the card out as early as you can. I would imagine, anyway. But that's the way he's done it since day dot. And look, yeah. Oh, was that announced today? Sorry, Keanu, was Team Christian versus Team Joe? Like the what are they called? The fraternity or the what's his group called? The fraternity.
No, it's not the fraternity. It's
no, it's not the hierarchy. No, the hierarchy.
Yeah, the Christian group.
Yes, the patriarchy.
The patriarchy, that's it. Keanu's just, and Keanu, you haven't been around for a while. We have missed you. Never take time off again. The patriarchy, yes, as Pario says. He's just asking if we think they'll do it. Look, it's Tony Khan. Anything's possible. And I'm not.
Well, good. No, they've been leading up that way.
Yeah.
So I mean, they could very well do it.
And it would. Let's be honest, and AEW comes in for a lot of unnecessary shtick and grief on the internet. This will be a good show. There's no way it won't. Matt's saying Grand Slam has gone from being a stadium pay-per-view to a Collision that's bumped from its usual time slot into late night. It is a bit of a shambles. I do agree with you, but I think we need. It's
definitely been average planning. So there's more to that, which I'll probably talk about after it's happened. So
yes, you keep indicating so, but it's going to be a good card. It's going to be a really, really good card and a good show.
We say this about it all the time. Like we always say, the TVs are average, but the pay-per-views always. And I know technically this isn't a pay-per-view, but they're still going to put on matches that are pay-per-view worthy. Do you know what I mean? Because that's just what he does when it comes to these shows. He's still going to put on. I mean, let's face it. Omega and Ospreay tagging against Takeshita and Fletcher. That's a fucking match. That's a match. So just get Mark Davis on there somehow, please. Just get him on the card somehow and announce it so I can be at ease in my mind that Mark will be on that show. Get what are they called? The Hounds of Hell? Give me the Hounds of Hell against bloody Lashley and Benjamin.
Yeah. Let's go. Let's go.
They tease Buddy and Okada. That would be good too. Buddy Matthews versus Okada. That'd be good.
Yeah.
Give me that. That's another match that'll absolutely slap.
Yeah. It's gonna be a really fun show. It really will. And if you're going to be in Queensland, go. But the night before, do not forget to go to the Pro Wrestling League with the Renegades of Wrestling Australian Super Show. Tickets are on sale now through OzTix. There are standing room only left. And I'm sure, as we're talking, they're being snapped up. We've spoken about the good, we've spoken about the bad, but we've got to speak about what we really didn't like this week. And it's been a pretty good week, to be completely honest. Todd, was there anything this week that kind of gave you the irrits?
Look, I don't like. I've kind of got a mixed one, like, you know what I mean, like a shit salad. If that makes sense. Is like there was somebody on X, and I don't want to say who his name is, because I don't want to like out him, putting him on one stream like that. But the poor guy has really been consumed with like calling out the bad stuff that's been happening a little bit lately in Australian wrestling, like the less than savory characters that have been getting certain things, and like. It got to the point where like I kept seeing him doing, I kept seeing it, I could see this happening. So I messaged him on the side and said, "Look, mate, like I love that you're doing it, and certain things need to be called out. But I think probably for your mental health, it's better you focus on the good things and stop giving oxygen to the bad." Like, I know we do this every week with chicken shit and all of that sort of stuff, but I feel like we should be focusing more on the really good stuff in wrestling, Australian and otherwise, because there's so much around the world and in Australia that we can shine up and be good of. I know that like when we do chicken shit, a lot of the times it's a lighthearted, like, this was shit sort of thing, but we do also touch on the more sobering versions of it. I feel sometimes maybe we focus on that a little too much at times, even though I agree certain things should be called out. But I also think that we shouldn't be constantly doing it to the detriment of our own mental health.
Well, it's so easy to get consumed by it, especially because the internet is everywhere. Just as on this, this isn't something in fact, I don't think I've mentioned this person's name a lot, but Chris Benoit was my favorite wrestler. Absolutely my favorite wrestler. I thought that there was no one better in the world that I had ever seen than Chris Benoit. I still to this day have a very, very soft spot for the wrestler, Chris Benoit. But I will not watch any of his matches. I cannot watch a Chris Benoit match for love nor money because I feel sick. I put that on and I feel sick. Now, that could have, I made a decision in 2007 when that happened, and I was speaking to my housemate, who's also a massive wrestling fan, and he and I were saying, well, you know, we still love the sport. We still love wrestling. Let's still love it and separate. And there are certain people, and things came up last year that obviously I have an issue with separating, but you kind of have to. You kind of have to. And I think it's the same, like we're beginning to see things in Australian wrestling that aren't necessarily the nicest, but let's hold each other's hands and give each other a hug when we need it, and we'll all get through it. We talk about mental health a lot on this podcast because we believe that mental health, you know, is so important because it's affecting all of us. The shit that's going down around the world right now is appalling, and it's affecting all of us. But we want to do this week after week to give you a bright spot, and it's the same on social media. If you don't, like, stop following idiots. Stop, stop listening to people that bring you down. Don't listen to the bad shit. Andy from Bob Vance Refrigeration. My chicken shit is that for all of us talking about positivity in Australian wrestling, we're ignoring a couple of shows in Brisbane in 2 weeks. That feels really unfair. You are aware that we have a vested interest in the Renegades of Wrestling and Pro Wrestling League Super Show. You are aware that the gentleman to my left as I'm sitting is, I've got to go that way. He is part of that show. So it's nothing against the other two shows.
And the man that normally sits in the middle will be commentating on that show.
Yeah. So
like we're kind of a part of it. So like inherently we're going to push that ahead of pushing other things. Like no offense to them. And good luck to Rock and Roll Wrestling because they're under the Caxton, which is really unfortunate now that they moved the bloody thing from Suncorp to the Caxton was perfect for him, but now not so perfect. And there's also Tamashi on the Sunday. I can't remember where that is because it moved venues. They did a AEW and moved venues. But yeah, go and support them if you are. Personally, I think Tamashi maybe announced themselves a little too late, and people have already booked all their flights and their stuff like that. And but yeah, go and support them if you go and support them. If you can't get a ticket for Pro Wrestling League, go and support Rock and Wrestling. Go and do it. Like I'm not telling you to not go to any of those shows. I'm just I'll be honest with you. I'm giving preferential treatment to Pro Wrestling League and Renegades Wrestling Super Show because I'm on the fucking thing.
And also, you've got to remember that I don't hide that I've got a vested interest in my shit. Todd, we're not hiding this. Do you know at PAX last year there was a show with some guys talking about the best pro wrestling game ever on console? Did we mention that in the lead into PAX? No, because I'm a WrestleBrania guy. My show's on at PAX. I couldn't tell you when their show was. I think it was Saturday afternoon as well. So you can't expect people to promote a show that clashes against theirs if they're part of a show. Sorry. So
but no, if you haven't got, let me put this on Front Street. If you haven't got tickets to Pro Wrestling League and you couldn't get tickets to where you wanted to go there, go to Rock and Wrestling. Have fun. Go and see Zion Quinn and the Broncos player against those other two guys. I don't know who they are, to be perfectly honest with you. But go and see that. Like support Aussie wrestling. I'm not telling you not to.
Rock and Roll Wrestling, I hope you sell out. I really do. I hope you do so well, mate.
Yeah, we've sold our tickets, man. You can do what you want.
Exactly. There's no ill will. We're not.
No,
it's not unfair. It's where the vested interest lies. We haven't hidden this vested interest. I've got an interest in Renegades doing well because it's run by a mate of mine. You've got an interest in Pro Wrestling League doing well because it's run by a mate of yours and you're on the shows.
Yeah.
I do want to shout out a very funny comment from Matt Huswaite, who said, I've just got to find it here. He goes, don't tell people not to follow idiots on social media. We'll wipe out his follower numbers. I'm determined to, Matt. Determined. So my chicken shit this week is it's a bit of a strange one, but it's also to do with social media. I don't like people being negative about AEW coming and going to the trouble of flying people over, putting a show together. Sure, it might be last minute, but they're putting a show together. They've clearly got the audience there. They've clearly captured a lot of the audience. Sure, they're doing 2-for-1 tickets, hopefully to get rid of the last few.
Yeah, apparently that's what they do when it comes down to the last couple of weeks. Because I asked about that. I messaged Kate from Fightful and said, "Is this something that's normally?" And she goes, "Yeah, they normally do that when it gets near to the end of the thing."
Yeah, I think it's great that they're coming. I think that they're going to get a crowd. They're going to put on a great show. Stop giving them shit. Because the results will speak for themselves. Stop.
Honestly, it's Rich. We kind of give them a lot of shit.
Yeah,
I'm just throwing it out there because I don't want to be... we do give them a lot of shit. I like to think that our shit is somewhat valid.
There are people that are laughing about the venue change. There are people that are laughing about the amount of people coming. sure, we have said that going to big auditoriums and trying to sell them out isn't working. You need to change. And they have. They're now doing smaller venues. They're in Daly's Place a bit more. They're getting it. But this is their first Australian tour. And Keanu said it right. There's a difference between criticisms and just shitting on them, though. And
I mean, there are people that will take any.
Yeah, we're seeing a lot of people
I agree with it.
Shitting on them, and I don't like it. Like, we'll criticize them. It's also what we do.
Yeah,
but people are writing.
I agree. Like our criticism, I feel our criticism were fair because look, they went to go to Suncorp Stadium, which is 55,000 people, where weekly on average, they only get like 20,000 people watching their TV.
Mm.
So, I mean, that to me, for starters, didn't make sense. Which is, like, the thing that annoys me more than anything else is, like, the people that, and fucking Wrestling Observer Live, Mike Sempervive was doing it, like, today, was talking about it being, like, putting the blame on it being up in Brisbane as well as being a factor. Tim, mate, you don't know Australia, so shut up. Like, we're still an East Coast city, highly accessible. We're a lot more accessible than what Perth was.
Oh God, yeah. But it goes to what we've said before. Excuse me. A lot of WWE fans are WWE fans. They're not fans of wrestling. They're fans of that specific brand. Yeah. So that makes things kind of.
I think that if they'd have gone to the entertainment center to start with, I think they would have found it would have been a much different public perception, if that makes sense. Because the tickets would have flew, and they could have said, "Hey, look, we're in a 13,000 stadium. We sold 10,000. We sold 10,000 tickets so far, and we've still got 2 months to go." Do you know what I mean? Like that would have been the prevailing story. Unfortunately, because of them shooting for the moon, the story is less favorable, if that makes sense.
And
but again, it's still going to be a great show. It's also putting on, like, there might be only 20,000 fans coming in for it, or however many coming in for the thing, but hopefully they're going to check out Australian wrestling while they're here, like they did when they went to Perth for WWE.
Well, as Jamie has said, there are fans that are going to see PWL and Renegades as well, I might add, for the first time because of AEW, and that's a really good point. Don't knock a touring brand that come out and do this, because they're doing it for us. Like, yeah, sure, they make money, but they're doing it to give Australian wrestlers more opportunities. They're doing it for us. Go and see a show. It's fucking great.
Yeah.
We've already said that.
They're going to be Australian wrestlers that, even like people that are Australian wrestling fans, that they're going to get to see for the first time. Like I know we talk about Big Boy Renegade. Like, a lot of people will see him for the first time. Mitch, the guy that I manage, a lot of people from Australia are going to see him for the first time. Same with Zeke. That's going to be in the same match. They're going to get to see him for the first time. Like, there's a lot of, especially for, and I know I'm speaking mainly for the Queensland guys, because they just don't get the exposure that a lot of the other states wrestlers do. But, like, there's still going to be a lot of like Yeet. Like, a lot of people haven't seen Yeet because he hasn't really had bookings outside of the state. So you're going to see, like, Australia's Joe Hendry. Because that's what I want. I want to see those two in the ring next week. Because, like, they look eerily similar.
Yeah, I'm really excited for it. But speaking of things that make us exciting, we've spoken about
Jesse Love, 13. Like, there are a lot of guys that Australian wrestling fans who are Australian wrestling fans are going to see some Australian wrestlers they've never seen before and go, shit, I didn't know that they were there. I didn't know that these workers were as good as what they were, because we're still under a bushel.
Not being under a bush is where you get your chicken salad from. You've got to come out from under the bush and grab it in the kitchen. And we are going to talk about the stuff that we liked this week. Todd, take it away.
I'm going to be honest, I didn't watch a hell of a lot of wrestling this week. So, like, the stuff I liked is pretty much the show we watched. Like, I liked Ben and Xander. I thought that was a really good match for what it was. A really, really good match. Again, this side of Robbie Eagles. I love this smart-ass heel cocky Robbie. I love it. I think it's so good. Kai Drake getting his just dues when it comes to like getting a big opponent on a show. I love that shit. So like honestly, like I know, because I know they're not on. Like I said, they're not on there as a complete unit. If you want to just go and see those single matches, you can, which is good. So go and check out Ben and Xander, because I thought it was a really, really good match. Also, go and check out Robbie and Billy Preston, another really good match.
Really good.
Yeah. Like Pario says, Timeless Return was the best thing of the week. The only reason that didn't make my best thing, because I thought it was too soon. I wanted it at Grand Slam. That was my grand design. So otherwise, that might have been my thing of the week.
I have two. The first one is a small one, but it was Bailey and Io on Monday Night Raw, just bumping into each other, and Io going, "I'll see you on Sunday." Man, that was great. That was just great, because they haven't gone, oh, Io's a face now, Bailey's a face now. They're going to get on. They're just friends. Like forgetting a year of history. No. There's tension there, and it's really, really good. I want to see this play out. I am hoping maybe we get a WrestleMania rematch between the two, because fuck me, they both deserve a spot in the show, and they're both amazing.
Oh, do you want a good chicken shit? Dave Meltzer saying there are too many black rappers on a Raw. That was a good one.
Not showing your racism there, Uncle Dave. And the other one, those T-shirts. It's Kevin Owens. Those fucking T-shirts are the greatest thing ever. I've called them out. Like, again, in our chat, I've actually said to Todd, can I get my T-shirt on the key art changed to son of an orchestra timpanist or percussionist? The Australian Dream, son of an orchestra percussionist. Look, the Canadian Dream, the son of a computer technician. Brilliant. Cody Sucks Eggs, which is actually a tribute to Terry Funk, is fucking brilliant. Wearing a Naomi T-shirt and going up against Jimmy, even to the point where Cole is talking about his T-shirts when he comes out. Oh, sorry, not Cole, Joe Tessitore. Joe Tess is talking about those T-shirts when he comes out for a match. Fucking great. Something so special about Kevin Owens and his work right now. And his promo game is fantastic. The contract signing was just brilliant. I'm so there for what Owens is doing at the moment. And I think he deserves his flowers, and it might be in the shape of the title on Sunday. Matt Husway, chicken salad is Jesse Ventura. He's a Steiner. That means 2 and 2 equals 5. I agree. That was a beautiful line. Jesse did great work on Sunday, even though he said WWF once by accident.
Yeah, I mean, you got to love, like, it's been a while since you've seen a true heel commentator.
Yeah.
Like, kept complaining that Sheamus had been robbed because the referee counted 3, and like, he can't just take that back because he goes, I'm changing my mind. And you can't do that. You counted 3. I love that shit. I thought that was great.
Brilliant.
Mate, speaking of chicken salad, one thing that we know is universal about chicken salad is that we know WrestleBrania is chicken salad, mate. So have you got anything that you want to talk to us about with WrestleBrania?
Oh, that is a very good question. I mean, I could talk. It's much easier if people, see some kind of moving image with words behind it, like a video.
WrestleBrania will debut for the 2025 Adelaide Fringe Festival at Arthur's Art Bar, and we are extra excited to announce that we'll be partnering with Riot City Wrestling. We've got 4 big shows, 4 different lineups with comedians from the festival and wrestlers from Riot City. On Friday the 14th, we have Grim Basso versus Mickey Fortune. Saturday the 15th, Dean Brady takes on Matt Hayter. On Sunday the 16th of March, we have Mr. Cliff versus Banjo Powers. And on Monday the 17th of March, our final show, Richard Gouda will take on the winner from Saturday night's event, WrestleBrania for the 2025 Adelaide Fringe Festival at Arthur's Art Bar. What are you doing already? Get your ass there, buddy!
There we go. And that was a world premiere. We have not played that anywhere else. That will be slapped up on our socials in coming days. But what a lineup.
God bless, bros. You could really tell he slowed down for that Arthur's Art Bar, didn't he?
He did. He didn't just say Arthur's Art Bar. Thank you very much, Hookster Graham, saying that was great. Buy your tickets now. I tell you what, that Saturday night matchup, Matt Hayter versus Dean Brady, that's going to be something. I just don't know what's going to happen at these WrestleBranias. I am so pumped for them. And I tell you what, the comedians we've got, wow, just, we'll announce them in coming weeks, but that's what we're looking at for Adelaide. And we're still talking about Melbourne. Tickets are moving really quickly for Melbourne. So if you want to get a ticket, we are at the Burgee Band Room, the Burgee Seltzer in Brunswick, because we like our triple Bs. We are there on Sunday the 30th of March. Sunday the 30th of March, Sunday the 6th of April, Sunday the 13th of April. Pario Magazine saying good luck with Hayter Jeff. Well, he's a natural showman, so I'm sure we're going to have some fun. Matt Hayter and myself, looking forward to that. And you can get your tickets to both the Melbourne show at the Melbourne Comedy Festival website and the Adelaide show at the Adelaide Fringe website. Thank you, Todd. Back to you.
All right. Well, you're the one hosting this thing. What do you mean back to me?
Well, I had to say something so I could take a breath.
Okay.
I am. Look, if you want to be able to take a breath and watch us every Thursday night, we look at wrestling from around the world every Thursday night. Do not forget the socials, Wrestle Radio AU. We are on Instagram. We are on Facebook. We are on the X. Todd is at Beast Eastman on X. I am at Wrestle_Brania on X. I'm also on Blue Sky. So if you're on Blue Sky, look me up, follow me there. It'd be nice to have a chat. We have some exciting things coming up down the pike. We have another great Oz wrestling show next week. I'm sure we might look at PWA again because it's going to be live and free. It's going to be live and free on YouTube tomorrow night. So if you've got no life like me, you may as well come around to my place and watch it. I'll put on a barbecue. No, I won't. I rescind every moment of that invitation.
We were there for 3 days. I don't think we ate at your place once.
We didn't eat at my place once. We were out the whole time. Anyway, I would just like to thank everybody in the chat tonight. It's been a lot of fun.
Hang on, but before you wrap it up and send us home, I just wanted to give a shout out to Kickout Merch at kickout.com.au for your merch for your favorite Queensland wrestlers. Also, wrestlers from around the country starting to get onto that website as well. If you are a wrestler and you want to get your merch on their website, do reach out to them through their Instagram page and get your stuff on there. Because, again, it's one of those things, and there are a couple of them now popping up around the country that give wrestlers a chance to be able to sell their merch when they're not on shows. So no one makes a hell of a lot of money in independent wrestling in Australia. A way that they can help subsidize their income and their passion and their hobby is through the sale of merch. So if you want to go out there and support Australian wrestling and your favourite Australian wrestler, go to kickout.com.au and support your favourite Australian or Queensland wrestler. Back to you, Jeff.
Thank you very much, Todd. And just a reminder, if you're in Melbourne, that Mayhem Pro is on tomorrow night. And they always put on good shows. We're really excited about their product at the moment, unanimously so. Like, we have been very vocal about what Mayhem are doing. So there's a few more things to announce. You can follow us everywhere: Facebook, Twitter, Instagram. Also, personally, you can follow Todd at Beast Eastman. You can follow Lachlan at Who's That Fucking Clown, and you can follow me at Jeff City or Jeff Albert.
At Lachlan Albert.
At Lachlan Albert. You can follow Lachlan. I hope he's listening because I thought that was pretty funny. You can also follow WrestleBrania. You can find us. You know, it's this. We got our WrestleBrania 7 series starting in Melbourne, of course, with new shows. So don't miss those. Todd, go and buy merch from Redbubble. Almost forgot. Go and buy merch from Redbubble. Money doesn't come to us. It goes to mental health causes. I mentioned mental health earlier. Todd, anything to add?
No, mate, I'm done for shows until the Super Show now. Just wrapping ourselves up in cotton wool.
Yeah, well, do that because you're going to be amazing on the Super Show against Big Brother Gore. Sorry, I wasn't supposed to tell anybody, was I? Sorry.
Fuck that. There's not enough money in the world, brother.
For Todd Eastman and Lachlan Albert, the missing Lachlan Albert, come back next week, mate. And we hope you all come back next week. I've been Jeff Setti. Buy your tickets to WrestleBrania and we'll see you down the road.
WrestleBrania will debut for the 2025 Adelaide Fringe Festival at Arthur's Art Bar, and we are extra excited to announce that we'll be partnering with Riot City Wrestling. We've got 4 big shows, 4 different lineups with comedians from the festival and wrestlers from Riot City. On Friday the 14th, we have Grim Basso versus Mickey Fortune. Saturday the 15th, Dean Brady takes on Matt Hayter. On Sunday the 16th of March, we have Mr. Cliff versus Banjo Powers. And on Monday the 17th of March, our final show, Richard Gouda will take on the winner from Saturday night's event. WrestleBrania for the 2025 Adelaide Fringe Festival at Arthur's Art Bar. What are you doing already? Get your ass there!